Hello and welcome to my latest podcast. Today I am looking at the Aquarian, the water bearer, the air sign, the Antichrist. Yes, it is Aquarian's turn. We are looking at Venus in Aquarius. Welcome to my channel. First of all, I have some notes that I've prepared for this one. I think I needed some. This video might be confronting, as some of them are. I just try and get in there and get the truth. That's what I'm going for. So first things first, I just want to put that on the table. If you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing. It really is exciting to me that I'm having a response. I'm putting a lot of effort into these videos and sharing my thoughts, my feelings, my knowledge, all freely here. So it means a lot that people follow me and message me. My DMs are open, as long as it's not too crazy. Please leave a comment in the comment box below if you feel so inclined. I do appreciate a whole diversity of opinions. I'm learning, we're all learning. Everyone's on this, crazy ass journey. And it's been a crazy ass journey for me, to get all of this in my head and learn about all this shit. So yes, now I am trying to get to 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So I have a goal. I'm very goal focused. Yes, I'm trying to get to 10,000 subscribers by January 1st. 2024. So hopefully that can happen. Please share this video, like the video, get it out there. It helps me out. If you have a request for a video, I will be open to that as well. It could be anything. It doesn't have to be occult based. It could be life based. I'm open. If you're open, let's do it. Okay, so let's get on with the video. I've got to get a little bit more housekeeping done. I have done a Dark Side of Aquarius video, part 1 and 2. I also have done a Cold Hard Truth video on this sign, part 1 and 2. So I also have done a Light Side of Aquarius. There are other videos on this channel. So I would probably say before you even get into looking at this sign in matters of the heart, in matters of the Venus aspect, go back, look at those videos, listen to those podcasts, because it's going to get you psychologically into understanding what we're really dealing with here when it comes to this sign. Okay, this is a very, very complex sign. All right, that's why I've left it for second last in my Venus series. I think we've got Pisces, not Pisces. We've got the Virgo last. But yes, we have Aquarius is, this is a very queer creature out there in the world, Not everyone's cup of tea. Unconventional would be an absolute understatement for this sign. Now, first things first, if you're new to astrology, Venus is how we love, it's how we integrate, it's how we connect on the heart, on matters of the mind. But for this sign, you can just take that straight off the table. This sign falls in love between the ears, between the eyes. You need to have something quite unusual about you to even get an Aquarius in front of you and to keep them there. That is an interesting, it is a very interesting thing to be able to behold, to do that. We know a lot of people see Aquarius much like the Capricorn. They can come across quite emotionally, quite detached and cold and aloof. But that's not true always. As we know, we must always take into account everyone's chart, and everyone's chart is different. There are so many factors that influence a human being's psychology, all of the aspects of who they are, and all of the moving components of who they are. It's all subject to the stars, the constellations, the astrological DNA, if you will, which is why I'm so interested in understanding all of this, because as soon as I can understand all of that, I can understand what the fuck is going on with people. I do apologize for my voice though this morning. I have just woken up, so yes, my voice is a bit fucked up at the moment. Sorry. So that being said, as always, when it comes to Aquarius, I have to let you know that there are two types of Aquarians that I personally look at, that I come across in the world. There is a very backwards Saturnal Aquarian that is very, very stupid. They have a very low sense of emotional IQ. They have a very low sense of just intellect in general. And much like the Libra, we have to divide it into two aspects, aspect A and aspect B. Aspect A would be someone that wants to talk about shopping and gets caught up in ideologies that they simply just don't understand, and they can't differentiate the difference between their sexuality and a personality. They really have a very low sense of awareness. They don't go far in life. And that's not what I'm tailoring this video podcast to. I would believe that if you are actually interested in psychology and self-exploration, then you're probably going to be more of the Uranian type of Aquarius, which is someone that would actually listen to these types of videos and is looking for authenticity and is looking for something that is truly deep and real. So that's why this video will be more tailored to that type of Aquarian. But I need to tell you that there are the type A Aquarian, much like the type A Libra, that are really, really shallow, superficial, really not in the game at all. They wouldn't even recognize that life even is a game. They don't even move on the chessboard. So I need to take them off the table first. If that's someone that you know, if you know an Aquarian that's like that, that's not what this video is for. Okay. That being said, I know it's an intro from fucking hell, but I have to put all this on the table so that you guys know what we're dealing with here. So Aquarius is in psychology. I'm going to go into some sexy, seductive tips on the sign, how to keep them, how to try and settle down with them, and how to get them around you. Okay? Communication is key. First up, if you are not a good communicator, if you have poor reasoning skills, you're already off the table. See you later. Have a great life. The Aquarian will not be bothered with you. Okay, period. We need to look at where their Mars is placed. If you're dealing with an Aquarius Sun or an Aquarius Rising, Aquarius Moon, where is the Mars? Mars has a very strong influence on the Aquarian. And Mars is your passion, it's your zest, it's your hunger. So find out where their Mars is would be the first tip I would say if you're trying to seduce an Aquarian or get an Aquarian to be interested in you. If it is Mars in Sagittarius, well then you better come up with some really cool philosophical stuff around the world and around like moving into the future and understanding humanity and that type of thing. If it's a Mars in Cancer, if their Mars is in Cancer and they're in Aquarius, well then maybe more of that Saturnal thing would be best. So cooking, taking care of them, getting to know them, regulating emotions, that type of thing might be more of their the way to get a hold of them. But the way to really date an Aquarius is to be their BFF, be their best friend. When you start to come around them, keep your communication real. Now, this is a sign that will let you be whoever you are. Whatever you are is okay with this sign. You don't have to hide and you don't have to pretend with this sign. You can let your freak flag fucking fly. Okay? As a lover, they want to be themselves and they want you to be yourself too. So if you're into weird ass kinky shit, bring it on. Okay, they'll love that. The more weirder and more surprising and more, I wouldn't I'll just say psychotic it might be, the more that this sign is going to like it. This sign likes surprises in love. Okay, because they're they like to be kept on their toes. Okay, now back to the type A and type B Aquarius. The type B Aquarius is what we're really focusing on, the more Uranic type Aquarian. They are more, could be more reserved. They could be more kind of quieter and kind of like eccentric and more like, what's the word? Like the builder. A lot of them are engineers. A lot of them are like, Ridley Scott alien type stuff. They want to go into deep space travel and shit like that. The concept of the Aquarian is to study humans. So this is a sign that will travel the world. They want to know all about culture. They want to know all about different worlds that are in worlds. So you've got to kind of come on an adventure with them. That's why this sign gets along really well with Gemini, and they get along really well with the Sagittarians. They are not a conventional lover. So this is not a sign that is easy to get them to commit to you. They might promise to marry you one day, another day, and another day, and another. Today's another day. That's kind of how they are. Don't pressure them. They don't want to be pressured. They don't want clingy. They don't want needy. Straight off the bat. If you're needy and their phone's blowing up all the time and you want to know where they are, bye-bye, see ya, out the door. They need freedom. Now, they need freedom in a very unconventional sense. They will give you freedom to be who you are. Okay, that is the beauty of an Aquarius. And I get along with Aquarians. I've got some great Aquarian friends. My Sag, my Scorpion side, we get along like a house on fire. Same with some of these crazy Geminis, because it's always exciting. It's always hot and fresh and keeping it moving. I don't like stagnated energy. This sign doesn't like stagnation either. They understand that in order to let something go, we've got to have the faith that something new will come in the door once we let go of something that we were holding on to. This is a fixed sign. Okay, so in that fixed energy, particularly if they've got a fixed energy in their Mars placement of an Aquarius, it's a very, very strong free will. All right. So my dad is an Aquarius and he's not a conventional Aquarian at all. So I can attest firsthand to dealing with this sign. Do not tell them what to do. Do not try and be like manipulative with them. They don't like that either. They are a free spirit, just like the Sagittarius. Freedom is what keeps the Aquarius there. And they will be attracted to other people in front of you. So if you're a jealous person, if you're a Scorpion, that scorpionic kind of jealousy, you belong to me, possessive type of thing, or a Taurus that can get like that, forget it. It's not going to happen. This sign is not really overly compatible with other fixed signs. Okay, they're just not. It's not going to work. Very unlikely it would be a match with a Scorpion or a Taurus energy if their placements were in some level of correlation. It won't work. I've never seen it work. And I've come across a lot of people that are quite spiritual, that are in the occult and more on kind of the baneful side, on the darker, the black path, if you know what I mean. And a lot of them are Aquarians. They don't want a conventional religion. They don't want to follow what has already been. This is a trailblazer. They are Gen X. Okay, Gen X, we're coming into the age of Aquarius now, all right? So we're in it now. So a lot of Gen X energy is Aquarius. Technology, babe, all the way. That's just how they are. Now, as a lover, this sign can be capable of loyalty, but it's going to be on their terms. All right. So like I said, getting them to put a ring on your finger and be what society wants them to be, they will come around, but it will be on their terms. All right. And I think that's a great thing. They'll write down like they might give you a ring as a sign that their heart belongs to you. But like the words that you read out at the ceremony, when you do the ceremony of getting married, it will be absolutely tailored to their wording. It will not be from anything else above them. They don't like that. This sign likes equality in a way. I've talked about the dark side of the Aquarian getting caught up in all the equality thing, but that's not what we're going into today. So if you want to get to know them, you've got to understand you need to form a connection that will make them fascinated with you. All right. So you've got to bring in new ideas, and you've got to show them something that is quite strange. They're attracted to strange, odd beauty, something that is a vision that's slightly broken, a beautiful ideology of a person, a prom queen that went rogue. That would turn them on. Someone that followed a path and decided to go, no, not doing that, I'm doing me, and doesn't give a shit about the rest of the world and how other people see them. They want to create a world with you that is private and a world with you that is between you and them. If you're talking about your relationship with the Aquarius to other people and the Aquarian finds out, your relationship will be over in a heartbeat. Okay, they have a very private side to them. All right, they want to be fascinated with you. So you have to have lots of exciting levels and dimensions to you that they can unpack and twist and turn like a Rubik's Cube. That will keep them there. That will keep the Aquarius around to find out what is going on with you, because they're trying to understand you, to appraise you, all right? But you can't be too detached. You can't be too aloof. You have to still give them love, but you've got to let them, figure you out. That's what really keeps them around, okay? So looking at my notes, this is such a cool sign. This is a cool cat. So you need to come across evolved, slightly aloof, and a very cool kind of cat as well. You have to be a little bit perplexing to them. They have to have a bit of mystery in relation to how they feel about you, okay? Be passionate. They love passion. They love exciting things. But this sign is not necessarily always concerned with the materiality of everything. Aquarians know that there is a spiritual world behind the physical stuff, and the physical world is simply a blueprint of the spiritual world. So they know that. And that's why a lot of them, an evolved Aquarian, will start turning to the occult, spirituality. They will start turning to some pretty hardcore concepts, and they will come at it with a very mathematical and logical and practical way of looking at it, which is why I can learn a lot from Aquarius, and I have learned so much from Aquarians. Okay, they're not always material based. Some of them don't really value materiality that much. They know that it's all going to be landfill at some point. What they're really here for is the adventure of life. That's why they get along with Gemini and Sagittarius, because Sagittarians and Geminis are quite evolved in that way, and it will be able to link that connection. So they don't like commitment as such in a conventional particular way. They like to fall in love by listening to you and getting to know your deeper side. So that is the aphrodisiac to them, okay? Letting them be who they are, giving them lots of space, and talking about things in a bigger context. That is exciting to them. That will bring them in. But we don't want to entrap the Aquarius. Like I said, they have a very, very strong free will. In fact, all my years of like looking at this sign, dealing with this sign, understanding the psychology of this sign from an occult point of view, trying to use some level of magic or some kind of level of mind games or any type of manipulation of energy around them or in them will not work. Okay, it will not work on this sign because their free will is very strong. Much like the Sagittarius, it's like pouring water on a couch. A Scotch guarded couch, like pouring water on a surface that is so impenetrable it wouldn't even get through. That's what it's like. You have to get them to come around to things. You can't push them into things. Okay, this is a complicated sign, all right? They are fucking complex, all right? So it's like they have moments of I love you, I want you, and then I don't want you, I'm aloof, get away from me, don't touch me. That's very up and down. But that's life too. Life is not a straight line. It's ups and downs. It's zigzags and going backwards. And sometimes we've got to lose something to go forwards. It's not conventional. Aquarians know that life and time and space is not linear. It's not. They understand that what you see on the TV is bullshit. They understand that what they see on the news or when you turn on the news at night on TV, they know it's all bullshit. They wouldn't even bother watching it. Okay, they understand that there's worlds within worlds. Okay, what you're seeing on TV is some kind of twisted, contrived projection to get other people to see things from an angle that someone else wants you to see from the person behind that person. So they're not concerned with that, all right? They like to see things as they see them, as they truly are, okay? It's just kind of how they are. Now, there are very warm Aquarians. We'd have to look at their placement. Maybe they've got a Leo moon or, maybe they've got an Aries moon. It depends on the placement. They're very susceptible to where they're rising and where their Mars is. Like I said at the start of the video, they have a lot of warmth. Some of them have a lot of warmth to them. They can be very bouncy, very happy, very kind of peppy kind of thing. And then you'll find the Aquarians that are very cold, quiet, like very cerebral in the brain. The brain is observing everything, watching everything, evaluating everything from different angles. So a solid mental connection is the only way to keep this person in your life, okay? It's just straight off the bat. B, also just as I guess in a way, from a darker point of view with this sign, they're like an alien and they're studying you. So you're kind of like a lab rat to them, okay? Don't try and be their equal because secretly a lot of the Aquarians, they like the power of inequality. As much as they say that they don't, they will like the fact that they're the ones that are the breadwinners in the relationship. And that means that, when push comes to shove, they're the ones that are paying for everything. They're the ones that have a level of control based off what they bring to the table. All right, I know that sounds weird, but it's so opposites within opposites, but some of them are a bit like that as well. So you're kind of like their experiment, all right? And anything Aquarius people, it's like they're trying to understand you, and that's the riddle that keeps them around. They're very telepathic. They can understand mentally what's going on in your head, and they'll know when to give you space and when to leave you alone and when to give you a hug. They're very internal, like there's an internal dialogue that goes on in the Aquarius's mind, which is very chatty as well. So they're able to process high levels of information from logical points of view, but without being very kind of judgy. They don't like being judged, and they don't like really judging others. Ultimately, this sign wants some level of like equality in a way, which I mentioned before. That word comes up a lot around this sign. They can be very supportive lovers, very supportive parents as well. But they are kind of like a little bit like tough love. Like you have to figure it out on your own. They're not going to give you everything that you need straight off the bat, but they will be willing to let you be who you are. So ultimately, they want you to have complete acceptance. All right. So that's really what they want here. They don't want to change. They want you to accept them as they are. That is true and authentic. That's what this sign is ultimately chasing. They don't have a fixed identity either. As air, they also can take on the form of other things around them as well. So you could put an Aquarius in any type of situation or culture or time period, and they would just kind of fit in very quickly and know how to adapt. They're very adaptable. Ultimately, they're kind of like on a galactic kind of mission. And so you need to kind of come along for the ride. You've got to have the same kind of wavelength, the same kind of goals. Aquarians are very goal orientated. A lot of them have dreams, and they want that encouragement, as they will encourage you, but it will be quirky. All right, so it's quite not a traditional energy. Like I've said, with love, with this sign, it's really, they can have communication with you without even talking. All right, so, you know, get that in your head. They want a soul that's going to come along with them like a friend, much like the Sag. They will have multiple partners at one time. This sign is renowned for being in very unconventional and some might say unorthodox type relationships, particularly as we're moving into the age of Aquarius with Gen Z. They don't need emotional connection to get into bed with you first. These guys will have sex with you on the first day and then go from there. If you bring in all of your emotional problems straight away to the Aquarius, they will be like, bye, no. It's get to know them at their pace or forget it. All right, so I would say don't have sex with them on the first date. Keep the allure, keep the mystery. Same with the Aries. But this sign will know how to get you into bed pretty quickly. And this is the one of those other signs like Sagittarius. They will have sex with you very quickly to determine whether this is a match or not. All right. But my advice would be is probably don't go that quickly, that fast. Keep the mystery. If you want it to last long term, don't skip ahead. You know, be a little bit more traditional with your approach to getting them into the bedroom. Now, this sign will have lovers on the side. They will go to business meetings for work to other cities, and they will have other people. They'll go and do very obscure things that you would never think that they would do. You know, if you got a hold of an Aquarian's phone, 9 times out of 10, much like the Sagittarius, you'd be completely shocked to the core at what you would find inside of their phone. It would be vastly different to who you think they are. Okay, so who you think they are and who they really are usually not matching. They're quite different, right? So I know that can be hard to hear, but it's just who they are, okay? And particularly it matters of love. It's an advanced mind, and it needs advanced brilliance and advanced situations that they'll create to have experiences which will give them that advancement in experiences, if that makes sense. So any type of overly suffocating, overly romantic, over affectionate type of stuff, like I said, it will not work with them. You know, it's very complex. You're a friend to them. So it is kind of how it is. A lot of women have problems with Aquarius in terms of the Aquarian, like the Sag, will probably have sex with all of their friends. The Aquarius will be attracted to other women while he's with them, and still hold absolute purity in his love for her, but he needs to see other experiences. I have a lot of Aquarians over the years that have been sex workers or have worked in the sex work industry. They will have sex with lots of different people from different cultures. It's honest, really, this is heavy talk here. Being honest, a lot of them see having sex with people from different cultures as education of that culture by experiencing what it's like to get fucked by an Irish man, what it's like to get fucked by a 6'4" black man. Every experience that they have with other people, they absorb the knowledge and the passion and the differences of those experiences through another person. So it's Gemini does this as well. They're able to trace a cord back to a wall through a person in an experience like having sex with them. I know that's really cerebral, but you probably won't hear it like that, but that's kind of the truth. So they like that. It's just in their nature. A lot of Aquarians are interested in human nature. They believe life is a gift and that gift needs to be lived. So yeah, be solid with them enough to support them, but you've got to understand that this sign will have affairs in the mind if they don't have an affair within themselves with other people. So yeah, I mean, getting a hold of their phone and unlocking it would be a pretty interesting thing. A lot of them probably, sorry, my throat's a bit fucked. A lot of them would probably have apps with inside apps that are locked where they hide apps in apps, if that makes sense. Scorpio can do the same thing. If you're in a relationship with a narcissistic Aquarius, you must leave immediately. Much like the Scorpion, you are in so much trouble. They will entangle themselves with you very deeply and get you in a chokehold where you can't get out. I've seen that as well. Anything futuristic, they like it. They're into the, like I said, like having sex with a unicorn, furries, dressing up in pup play, going hotel weekends away, dirty letters found in books, understanding your past so that they can replicate something that you're trying to do with in your sex life that you had before with someone else. Anything that is obscure, anything that is strange or weird, that's what they are. And so you need to be like that. And they appreciate the higher that you can go, the better. All right. So go high. The only way you can really turn the sign off is by being limiting and making them feel trapped, making them feel that they have to conform to your narrative or the labels that you're putting on them. A lot of them they see a label as a trap, same as the Gemini and the Sagittarian. So in a relationship, they need to be the one that bends the knee first and proposes to you. In a relationship, dating an Aquarius, coming into the tips now, let them label what you've got between the two of you first. So they'll be the one to say, okay, we're exclusive now. This is where we're at. Don't be the one to put it onto them. They don't like it. It won't work. Okay. Not really. Yeah. So, but you can be many things with them as well. You can be the soft, gentle, take them to a movie, get them popcorn and a Coke, or you could take them bowling. It's going to have to be, I would say, probably something physical as well, something that's stimulating to them. If they're into science, take them to a museum, take them somewhere interesting. Don't be boring. Do not, you can, death by like boring, anything that's boring, they're going to be, when they can predict what's going to come out of your mouth, that they're losing interest. So lots of crazy ass moments that will keep them around. Otherwise, they might just shut off and you'll think, where did that Aquarius go? Well, it's because you felt restrictive to them. You felt boring to them. So they need a time to evaluate everything as well. So lots of evaluation is going on with this sign at all times. They want a vision of the future. They want to know your dreams. They want to calculate your mind. They are visionaries. Think of Dr. Manhattan from the Watchmen. I talked about him being a clockmaker. A lot of them are engineers, very technical, precise, precision-based science jobs that are about helping the world, changing the world, fixing the world, ushering in a new world. So if you come in with very gender-based stereotypes that feels restrictive to them, they will hate that, all right? They'll feel that as you trying to control them, and then you're trying to control their mind, and they don't like the idea of someone having control over them either, all right? So it's big thumbs down for that type of behavior. It just won't work. I think I've mentioned that a lot already, but I can't stress it enough in this video. You know, it really is a quirky, interesting thing. You've got to have a lot of verbal wit about you. Good verbal stimulation is sexy to them. Be slightly aloof to them at times. Not like keeping them, like being mean and keeping them keen, but you've got to have a vibe about you that is just something different, you know, spicy, different, off the cuff, exciting to them. You know, this stimulates the feelings within them. They'd probably rather hear about your failures than your success. They probably would be more interested in the time that you were homeless, or the time that you, really fucked up in your life and you gambled all your money away, you know, the time that you lived under a bridge. That would be more interesting to the Aquarius than coming across as like living in the Hamptons and being perfect. Because they know that's not real. They know, like, if you're listening now and you're an Aquarius, leave me a comment below. I want to know. It's they know that all this lovey-dovey, romancy stuff, that's the concept of love. That's not love to an Aquarian. Okay, they know that. It's just not. So don't be conventionally what society tells you to be to them. They will run. It's like you have to bring something that is real and raw and true to them, the real thing. So the other day I was playing with some tarot cards or some oracle cards, and I was thinking about Aquarius. I was talking to a friend about Aquarians and how fascinating they are. And one of the things that she said to me on the phone, and she is an Aquarian, is show the world the real you. And this is not talking about putting best foot forward. This is not talking about showing them what you think that they want to see of you. This is about showing the real you, wounds and all, warts and all. Okay? Because if you go on a date with someone, and this goes across the bat coming from a Sagittarius person here, and if I can meet you in my pajamas, that's why I think like Aquarius would probably want to have a date with you in their pajamas, and no makeup and no hair done. Because if they can see you as you truly are, because you can't be this perfectly like coiffed person all the time. There has to be a reality to you, all right? That's why this sign gets along with Sag and Gemini. Yeah, because it's got to be like, well, yeah, you have to, if they can sit with you and see you as you really are, that's what they're really going to get in the relationship with you. If they can't accept that, if someone can't accept you as you are really and truly, then it's all a complete waste of time. All right, so that's how Sag would see it. That's how Scorpions sometimes could kind of see it. So come in and tell them something that could be potentially off-putting to a regular person. Aquarius will encompass that and accept it. If you are mentally ill, if you have a very unique perspective on life, if you have some level of kind of like, it could even be a diagnosed mental illness, but if you're working on it and you're taking the time and you're putting in the effort and you're like taking your medication and going to therapy, Aquarians will stand by you because they know that that's life. They're not like, it's not the Joneses. I think I need to go back and see that movie actually. The Joneses was like this perfect family that has this perfect projection, but underneath it's all fake, it's all fucked up. They know life's fucked, all right? They know the systems are fucked. They know that humans are innately fucked. So pretending that they're not and that you're perfect isn't going to do anything for this sign. That would actually be repulsive to them. Okay, unless it's interesting because with the two types of Aquarians that I mentioned at the start of this podcast, one of them is Aquarian A, which is the Joneses, which is all based in the material world and is just like Paris Hilton's character that she's played for like 10 years. And she is a fucking Aquarian, right? They'd be repulsed by that. They hate that shit. I hope all of this is making sense, all right? Don't try and get close to them out of convenience at work. They will sense that from 10 miles away. They will have deep arguments with you. They will have deep discussions with you. They like that. It pushes their mind. It challenges them. They understand that to be your best, highest potential self and be confident in who you are, it's about all of the defeats that came before you, that you had to, the challenges that you had to encounter to build the greatness of who you are. So it's really about the suffering and the trials and the tribulations that show us who you really are. That's what Aquarians like about you. All right. So if you're doing the work, then that's okay. Now, in terms of family, a lot of Aquarians are born into families that don't want them. They'll have overpossessive parents. They'll be born into broken families. That's just, unfortunately, that's just how it goes. Same for the Capricorns. They don't have the best track record in terms of like family accepting them. They're usually the black sheep, so they're probably attracted to the black sheep as well. This sign is also friendly with everyone, so they will like to be, some of them like to keep connections and friendships they're cool with their exes, and they'll probably wouldn't mind you talking to your ex because they understand that you're with them. All right, so you can get like, don't be a conventional person with them because they're not going to want that. They're going to find it boring, and they're fabulous. That's who they are. These guys like to collaborate. They want to taste the the fruit of life. Be shocking. Be unorthodox. They'll stick around. They will stick around, and they want to build an amazing relationship. A lot of them will. They go through periods where they're very social. You need to go out with them, have a drink with them. Seducing tips, they probably would approach you. They can be quite blunt and quite direct. Take them aside, whisper something into their ear, and it has to be shocking. Tell them something exciting. It will turn them on. Okay? A lot of Aquarians don't really cook. I've noticed a lot of them don't cook. You'd have to look at their placements. Take them over and cook them something. Take them to authentic Chinese, and then the next day with them go abseiling. Very different stuff, all right? That's why they are exciting to be around. A lot of them are just this quirky, wacky vibrance to them. Yep. And so they want to merge their life with yours in their way. So it would be best friends, like a Sag. You don't get the Aquarian for life. You just get them as your best friend for life, which I think truly is what a real relationship really is anyway. You know, with the Uranian Aquarians, they will merge with you as friend. It's friend first, and they don't want a boyfriend, they want a life partner. Okay, very, very big difference. Unless it's a really Aquarian A, where they'll have a different girlfriend or boyfriend every few months and their whole life is a bunch of random sex with strangers, and then they grow old and they die. They don't evolve. We're talking about Aquarian B. Okay, that's who we're talking about in this podcast. So if you're doing regular steak and mashed potatoes every night, bye. Keep it spicy, put in the effort, and they'll do the same for you. You must be independent as well. You have to have a level of independence because they will as well. They don't need relationships. Aquarians are already independent, so you're a complementary add-on to their life. You are not going to be the focus of an Aquarian's life. Their mission is their focus. You just happen to help fit into that mission and help them go after what they want. So having your pulse on every single aspect of life and technology and how the future works and how it's going to be developed, anything to do with developmental stages of something is what the Aquarian is into. All right, so how are humans going to occupy Mars? You know, what's your thoughts on Putin? This type of shit, all right? Don't, on a first date with this sign, vanilla and boring. Communication, fantasies and fetishes. The androgynous zone is between the eyes, much like the Gemini. It's not going to be in the dick or in the clit. It's in between the eyes and brain matter. Neural pathways explosions. I love it. So yeah, this has been a lot. I know it is. I've given you some hot tips. This has been very cerebral talking about this sign. I feel like, whoa, that's a lot. But that's what we're dealing with here, okay? That is what we're dealing with here. A lot of them are into the New Age movement as well, and that's okay, provided they're doing shadow work. Remember, if we don't have a level of shadow work in a spiritual practice, there is no spiritual practice. The crystal doesn't give you the power. The tarot doesn't give you the power of the tarot. The mind and the connection with the tool is the power, okay? Like I want to say, if you know a person in general, it doesn't matter what star sign it is, they need to have the mental bandwidth to understand that your sexuality is not your identity. It is just a feature of you, but it is not the whole entirety of you. All right, so a lot of the darker Aquarians, the really stupid ones that are not evolved, they can't understand that, and they will go and march and protest for things that they simply don't even understand and haven't thought it through, because they get caught up in all this equality shit, understanding that they should not be marching for this. They lose, what I'm saying is a very weak Aquarian, like a weak Libra, will lose their identity of self by handing over their individualism, which is the most special thing about them, to the collectivism of a group herd mentality or a group ideology, and then they give themselves over and they subscribe to that for so long that they forget who they are. And then they get trapped in this kind of like a hamster on a wheel that's not going anywhere. Okay, so that can be a pitfall for the lower level consciousness. That's why Satan himself would be an Aquarian or he would be a Sagittarian based on the excess consumerism of the Sag or the Aquarius mind, which is AI, which is what the Antichrist really is. They're bringing in AI. That's what we're in right now. We are in the final chapter of the human evolution. We are here for the end. So it's a really interesting and exciting time if you're an occultist at this point, being incarnated at this time, because humans are either going to merge with AI or we're going to reject AI. But humans like to think that they're God and play around with nature and play around with genetics and playing with everything, playing around with Mother Earth and trying to create intelligence based as a model of their own self back to themselves, and this type of shit. It's very, very dangerous territory. And as much as Aquarians are interested in this, it's very, very dangerous. So I know I've said a lot, I've covered a lot. This is an interesting, fascinating person. I hope I've given you some tips. I know it's been a lot, but I wish you so well with your journey with this sign. I want, and truly, and a really light-hearted and a really good Aquarian really wants the best for you. They do. They want to see you. They want to see you do well. They want to see you evolve. I do too. So I'm making these fucking videos. All right, lots of love, and I'll see you in the next video. I am doing my Venus series, so it's like I'm going to be doing Virgo last, Virgo in love, Virgo in Venus. But sometimes when I have a hot minute, I've got a second, I will do a quick video in my car or something, just to kind of, go through the week. It depends on what's going on in my life, but yeah, I'm doing my best, okay? Hit the subscribe button and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for your support. Comments are so welcome. Let me know what you think about this one. I want to know. Okay, bye.